Hello, and welcome to the ScrubPod Podcast, a Magic the Gathering talk show that seeks to provide high-quality entertainment. I'm your host, Andy, and today I'm joined by nobody. That's right, my schedule got a little topsy-turvy this week, so now I'm relegated to doing the show alone in my room, /studio, /dance studio, /wood carving area, /dojo? Anyway, this is very reminiscent of my college radio days of just being in a room with a microphone and just talking to myself for hours at a time. I think I'm a professional at this point. I did get paid for it for a while. So today I'm just going to be talking about myself for a while, talking to myself for a while, pardon me. We got a lot to cover today because we're going to be talking about something very special to me. I'm just going to go through and give a little grading to every spirit in Magic the Gathering, specifically mono green spirits. Spirits are a creature type that are in every color because, most things in Magic have a soul and die but then become a ghost. Ooh. It is a trope that is everywhere in fantasy and mostly in folklore as well. I took a class on the folklore of ghost stories. Ghosts are prevalent in every culture, every society that has ever been created had an idea that maybe the dead don't stay too dead for long, or maybe they are dead but not like really dead. There's something off about them. They're incorporeal, they're ethereal. So Magic has about 94 of these, so I'm going to be kind of fast with these. Probably I'm trying to aim for about 30 seconds for each one. Some of them I'm going to talk about for a while, but our first mono green spirit isn't even mono green. It's Dancing Scimitar from Arabian Nights. It's a 4-mana 1/5 with flying. That's it. It's technically a spirit. Love the art, the Anson Maddox flame sword scimitar. It's cool. It's a ghost sword. Zoinks, it's the gay blade. If you know, you know. It's a very fun card, looks like. I don't know, pretty bad. But it blocks for days, so what can you say? Next, we have Radiant Spirit from Legends. 3 and a green for a 3/2 spirit. Tap, target creature loses flying until end of turn. How that relates to a spirit, I don't know, but the Christopher Rush art is incredible. It's just a woman just staring up at a very starry night, but it's in like this kind of subdued way that really feels very, I don't know, it feels very 80s anime. I don't know, but I like it. It's beautiful. It feels very anime, like an early case of Magic the Gathering anime art. But we're going to move on to what I consider to be the first real spirit in Magic, which is Spectral Bears. For 1 and a green, 3/3 bear spirit. The Spectral Bear is declared as an attacker and defending player controls no black cards. It does not untap during your next untap step. It is a sizable body for a cheaper cost. That meant you had to have a big downside for these types of creatures. But it is ghost bears, and those are great. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I should probably be ranking all these as well. The Scimitar I'm giving a 1 out of 10, and Rajan Spirit I'm giving a 5 out of 10. Rajan Spirit will be our baseline spirit. Spectral Bears is our idea of a perfect spirit. It is haunted, and if it doesn't have anything related to the unfinished business, it is not going to have a fun time. Next, we have the Elvish Spirit Guide, which is 2 mana and a green for a 2/2, but you're not doing it because it's a creature, really. If Elvish Spirit Guide is in your hand, you may remove it from the game and add 1 green to your mana pool. This lets you cheat on mana. It's basically a ritual. It's closer to a lotus petal than a real creature, which is very incredible. It has its numbers juked up because of CEDH, and it is a very good card in decks that are trying to win as fast as possible, preferably on turn 1, like the Stormlists in Legacy, Canadian Highlander. It is a one-of-a-kind card, sort of. I should say that. There is a red version with Simian Spirit Guide, which is the same exact card, but it's a mono-red ape spirit. This is an elf spirit. So, what's her unfinished business? I don't know, but I'm giving her an 8 out of 10 because she's a very good spirit, but not necessarily reflective of the spirit decks that I play. Next, we got Horrible Hordes. Horrible Hordes is from Mirage. It is a 2/2 spirit for 3 mana with a Rampage 1. For each creature assigned to block it beyond the first, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's hard to block these spirits. There's so much going on in the art. Listeners, I need you to go look at it looks like if the brave little toaster got infected by Chernobyl radiation. It is horrifying. It's the Modrons as they march through the material plane. There's a windmill that's running at people. It's a horde of living trinkets and such. There's like robot dogs. It makes no sense. This might be my new favorite art in Magic the Gathering. This is the first time I'm seeing it. It's a bad card, but I love this art so much. It's so, what the hell? What the hell is going on? It feels like a German fairy tale. There's just so much all over the place. Words can't fully describe it. I want this either tattooed or as a playmat, or where I'll most likely see it is just in my nightmares. I'm going to give that one a 4 out of 10. It would be a 1 out of 10, but I gave it 3 points for the art. Next, Liege of the Hollows. 2 green for a 3/4 spirit. If Liege of the Hollows is put into any graveyard from play, each player may pay any amount of mana to put that many squirrel tokens into play. Treat these tokens as 1/1 green squirrels. I love this card so much. It's a little group hug aristocrat payoff where if you sacrifice it and you just have a bunch of mana left over, say from Gaia's Cradle, you make a bunch of squirrels. And the next turn when you untap with your Gaia's Cradle's even better. It is a great spirit, great Ron Spencer art. Ron Spencer is in my probably top 3 favorite Magic artists who ever lived. It's probably Rebecca Gay, RKF, and Ron Spencer. Ron Spencer's art is just wonderful and beautiful and terrifying and Geiger-esque in my opinion. Liege of the Hollows, great spirit. No notes. It's so silly. It takes a lot of work to make it work for you, but it's just a cool spirit. It dies and becomes one with nature, and you just get so many squirrels. However she touched your life, you get that many squirrels. 10 out of 10. Liege of the Hollows, perfect. We're moving on to Judgment. We have Phantom Centaur for 2 green, 2/0 Centaur spirit. It has protection from black and comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to Phantom Centaur, prevent that damage, remove a +1/+1 counter from Phantom Centaur. I love it so much. We don't get stat lines with 0 in the toughness too often. Rarely works, but this comes into play with 3 counters. This is where we're going to see a couple of different Phantom mechanics from this set, where instead, that's kind of what the spirits are known for, is instead of taking damage, they get slightly smaller, which very powerful mechanic in if you're doing a lot of blocking and attacking. But I'm going to give Phantom Centaur a 6 out of 10. I'm going to talk about a 10 out of 10 Phantom because it's already a 10 out of 10 Phantom. Phantom Nantuko. It's a 0/0 insect spirit for 2 and a green with trample. Phantom Nantuko comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to Nantuko, prevent that damage, remove a +1/+1 counter from it. And you could tap him to put a +1/+1 counter on Phantom Nantuko. Perfect card. No notes. The Wayne England art is terrifying. It's a ghost bug. It's literally a ghost bug. Nothing else like it. Nothing else like it. I love Phantom Nantuko. It's one of the best cards in all the Magic. You should play it in every deck. Every green deck. It has trample. It's such a good payoff for your +1/+1 counters. It's never going to die. If this has vigor on it, oh mama. Oh mama. I love Phantom Nantuko. Give it vigilance. Oh, so you can just keep tapping. With a certain other mono green spirit, it could do some real damage if it will say untap every turn. But we're going to talk about Phantom Tiger, which is a 2/1. It's a 1/0 for 2 and a green. Cat spirit enters 2 counters. If damage be dealt to it, remove a counter. It's the lamest of the Phantom series from Judgment, and mono green specifically. But that's just because the other ones we're dealing with are so powerful and so cool. I love the art, though, on this one. It's literally just a ghost tiger cat. Has huge claws. It looks like the back pages of like a Magic Treehouse novel or some fantasy book that got a made-for-TV movie out of it, but never got any theatrical release. All right, next we got to talk about a good card. Oh, sorry, Phantom Tiger. I'm going to give a 4 out of 10. Seedborn Muse is a good card, really good card. It's on the Game Changers list, which means it's really powerful in Commander, and people really want to play it in Commander, and people are like, no, that's too powerful. I don't want to play against it. It's like, all right, can I play like a small amount of them? They're like, yeah, you can do that. Seedborn Muse for 3 green, 2/4 spirit. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. It lets you cheat every turn. If you have something that enables flash, you get to have a turn every turn, which sounds hard to believe, but you only get 1 turn every 4 turns in Magic. So having 1 turn every turn, it's incredible. You can activate abilities over and over again. It's great with cards like the One Ring that lets you draw cards, or Phantom Nantuko, where you can tap to put a +1/+1 counter on it every turn, and suddenly your Phantom Nantuko that was a 2/2 is now a 5/5 at the start of your next turn. Amazing card. Really overpowered. I have a Mono Green Spirits deck, which is why I'm doing this episode. I don't run it in there because it's too good. It's just incredible. You only need the Phantom Nantuko, really, to be a busted deck. But sadly, this is the end of all of our old bordered Green Spirits. So we're out of the 90s, out of the early 2000s, and back into the mid-2000s, where we're going to start our journey with Kamigawa, which has so many goddamn mono green spirits. It's like most of the mono green spirits come from this format, come from this set or something. Who knows? Wink, wink. But we're going to dive right into it. We have Berg Grafter, 2/2 for 4. Sacrifice it, target creature gets +2/+2, and it has Soul Shift 3. What is Soul Shift? Well, it says when this card is put into a graveyard from play, you may return target spirit card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. The Soul Shift cards were usually always Soul Shift N, with N being 1 minus its mana cost. So you're kind of going down, like you kill your small thing, and then you kill your medium-sized thing, and your medium-sized thing brings back your small thing. And it's an okay mechanic. It's fine. Berg Rafter, I'm giving a 3 out of 10. I think Soul Shift is a little overrated in Commander, especially the way I play my decks is I want to play my creatures over and over again, but I don't want to exile too many of them. Next, we have Dripping Tongue Zubera. 1 in the green for 1/2 Zubera Spirit. When Dripping Tongue Zubera is put into a graveyard play, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token to play for each Zubera put into a graveyard from play this turn. It is a very cool card. I love it because it keeps track of it from itself multiple times. So if you sacrifice Dripping Tongue Zubera and then say bring it back with a card we're going to talk about later, like if you Soul Shift it back from your Berg Rafter, then play it again, sacrifice it again, you get 2 1/1s. And then if you keep doing that, you get so many 1/1s that it's a little nice infinite mana outlet if you don't have a way to win the game on the spot, but creating a million tokens, that's always the way to go about it. I'm going to give Dripping Tongue Zubera a 8 out of 10. Next, we have Feral Deceiver for 3 and a green, 3/2 spirit. Pay 1 mana, look at the top card of your library. Pay 2, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, Feral Deceiver gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Play this ability only once each turn. This is fine. Looking at the top card of your library is okay in some circumstances. I don't like that you can't play the top card of your library, especially with the second mana ability. It'd be better if you reveal the land and you could put it into your hand, but it stays on top, so everyone knows you're just drawing a land. So I guess it leaves a little political sense of they're drawing a land. They're not going to draw any big haymakers, so might as well let the damage through. Far from the worst spirit, though. It is not a dancing scimitar. So I'm going to give Feral Deceiver a 5 out of 10. I'm going to put it right in the middle. It's maybe a 4 out of 10 if I die to this card, or I die because of this card and I'm playing it. Next, we have Hanakami. 1 for 1 green. 1/2 sacrifice Hanakami. Return target arcane card from your graveyard to your hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rebecca Gay art that features a flower with a face throwing up tinier flowers. It's amazing art. The ability to return an arcane from your graveyard to your hand is pretty good, especially since you're playing cards like Kodama's Reach and Wear Down, or Wear Away, which are very powerful arcane spells that are really good in multiples. Love Hanakami. Very cool card. I'm going to give Hanakami a 9 out of 10. I love that it doesn't exile itself like a lot of other spirits do. We're going to move on to Iname Life Aspect. For 4 green for a 4/4 spirit, when Iname Life Aspect is put into a graveyard from play, you remove it from the game. If you do, return any number of target spirit cards from your graveyard to your hand. This is my commander for my mono green spirits deck. It is the best mono green spirit. 55 out of 10. 3 million out of 10. Since it is your commander, you can put it in your graveyard, exile it, and then exiling it puts it back in the command zone. So this allows you to essentially loop your spirits. If you have if you have a sacrifice outlet and enough mana, you can just loop your spirits over and over again, trigger enter the battlefield effects, trigger dies effects, trigger whatever your sacrifice outlets is, like say Altered Dementia or Starved Rusalka. It is such a funny card for such a silly deck that just does so much damage. It's a great card. I highly recommend anyone who doesn't have an Iname Life Aspect deck to either build one and torture your friends with it, or build one for your friend and have them torture you with it if you're that type of monster. Next, we have Jugen the Rising Star. 3 green for a 5/5 Dragon Spirit. With flying, when it's put into the graveyard from play, you may distribute 5 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures. Amazing card. Banger. 10 out of 10. Being able to have a creature that cares about dying is exactly what mono green aristocrat spirits wants. And this just makes something marginally bigger. But if you could do it again and again, this creature is going to get so big. You can distribute it on your board. It's a very, very wild card. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite cards. It's sometimes a commander I switch out my commander for. I love it. Next, we have Kami of the Hunt. 2 and a green for a 2/2. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, Kami of the Hunt gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's simple. Play your spirits. It gets a little bigger. There's a couple other spirits we're going to talk about are like this that I think do it a little bit better. But the art is fantastic. It is just some random spirit. Has like a bunch of skulls attached to it and a really big mouth that's just going. I love it. It can kill. It's fine. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing really too good about it either. Next, we have the first of the 2 Kodamas. We have Kodama of the North Tree and Kodama of the South Tree. Kodama of the North Tree for 2 green, 6/4 spirit with trample and shroud. It's fine. It definitely is, out of all the Kodamas, the I don't want to say worst one because it's not a bad card. It's just it's a big dork, but can't be lightning bolted, it can't be lava axed, it can't be flame slashed, it can't be removed very easily, it can still just be board wiped. If this is your commander, though, it can get pretty silly, especially if you have a weird Voltron deck where you can't actually target anything with it. I had a Progenitus deck that was like that. In green, you have a natural growth, which just doubles the power and toughness of each of your creatures, so this becomes a 12/4. Becomes very good. Very kills fast. But Kodama of the South Tree is a much better commander. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. This is a much better Kami of the Hunt. It can be your commander. It's a 4/4. It costs 1 more mana too than Kami of the Hunt. So it's a great finisher if you can play a lot of spirits in turn and just chips in damage. The trample is so useful. It is. Kodama of the South Tree is another perfect card. It's a 10 out of 10. Kodama of the North Tree, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. It can be better, but it's still pretty good. Next, we have Moss Kami. 6 mana, 5/5 with trample. That's it. It's peaceful. It's a big pile of moss. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Wish there was more to it. Just big and dumb. We have Myojin of Life's Web for 6 green, 9 mana total for an 8/8 spirit. It comes into play with a divinity counter if you cast it from your hand. It has indestructible as long as it has a divinity counter on it, and you can remove a divinity counter from it to put any number of creatures from your hand into play. Very cool card. Very powerful effect. If you could get to 9 mana in green, which is very reliable in a game of Commander, especially if you play a lot of ramp, you could probably get 9 mana as fast as turn 5 or turn 6 reliably. The way I play my mono green spirits deck is I have whenever a creature comes into play, draw a card. That is a creature specifically. And I just churn through my deck like that. So when I get a lot of mana and I have Mueosin of Life's Web, and I have a lot of cards, but not infinite mana, this just allows me to go so ahead of the curve of just, all right, I play Mueosin of Life's Web, I'll get dumped my whole hand now. Next, we have Orb Weaver Kumo. Shout out Orbs. 4 green for a 3/4 spirit. It may block as though it had flying, so reach. And whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, Orb Weaver Kumo gains Forest Walk until end of turn. It's a fun card. It's cool. Limited bomb. Looks like Ko the Face Stealer from Avatar. It's fine. I never really played with this card because a very similar card is Kodama of the South Tree, but that Forest Walk is not nothing. And also, a lot of your spirits, surprisingly enough, don't really have flying. So having a reach blocker is not too bad. While I'm reading this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Next, we have Root Runner. 2 and 2 green for a 3/3 spirit. Pay 2 mana, 2 green. Sacrifice Root Runner, put target land on top of its owner's library, and it's Soul Shift 3. This is good. I like the Soul Shift abilities on creatures when you can actually sacrifice them. And it's a really cool way to either bring back your very powerful 2 mana or 1 mana spirit back to your hand. It could also just take care of a land for a turn. Like your opponent has a Gaia's Cradle or if they're cheating, a Tolarian Academy, or you're worried that they're going to wasteland your land, just put this down, put that back on top, and then you have your land safe for a turn. If you can also play this in a landfall package, you can target your own land too, which pretty neat. You get your own spirit back, and you get your other land to play again. Next, we have Soil Shaper for 1 and a green, 1/1. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, target land becomes a 3/3 until end of turn. This card is so cool. I love it. Just animating all your lands, and they get so much bigger. It'd be cool if they became spirits and can get buffed by my boy Southie Tree. But it is what it is. Really cool art by Thomas Baxa. I'm gonna give Soil Shaper a 7 out of 10. It requires a little bit of a build around, but still very cool. Next, the 1,000-legged Kami. 6 green for a 6/6 spirit with Soul Shift 7. It's only if it's a 6/6, so its only function is to turn sideways, and if it dies, you get something really big back from your graveyard. You get your Odama that they killed. You can get any of your value pieces. Solid card. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Venerable Kumo for 4 and a green, 2/3 with reach, because it's a little spider spirit, it looks like, and it has Soul Shift 4. That's it. It's not too bad. Just dies and brings stuff back. Good blocker. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 as well. Next, we have Vine Kami, 6 green for 4/4. Can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, so it has Menace and Soul Shift 6. Great attacker, great and limited. And Commander, who's to say how good it is? If you're playing a version of Mono Green Aname with, like, say, Orin Frostfang, very good, because you're just going to basically get guaranteed damage in, which is guaranteed card draw. So that's the end of Champions of Kamigawa. Now we're going to talk about Betrayers of Kamigawa, the next set following it. We have Body of Jukai for 7 green, 8/5 trample, Soul Shift 8. Big dork. Swings. Soul Shift 8 is very good. Brings back any spirit that you deal with. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Next, we have a Budoka Pupil for 1 green. Whenever you play a spirit arcane spell, you may put a key counter on Budoka Pupil. At the end of turn, if there are 2 or more key counters on it, you may flip it. Yes, it's not a spirit. It's a human monk, a 2/2. And what happens when you flip it? Why, it becomes a spirit. It becomes Ichiga, who topples Oaks. 4/3 with trample. Remove a key counter from Ichiga, who topples Oaks. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Bit of a letdown, because you don't get any more key counters once it's flipped, and it doesn't flip back into Budoka, so you can't get any more key counters. You have to do a lot of proliferation shenanigans. It would be so much better if it still had that same clause from before. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Next, Child of Thorns, 1 mana, 1/1. Sack it. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So simple. So easy. 5 out of 10. Does nothing wrong. Next is Forked Branch Garami. 3 green for 4/4 with Soul Shift 4, Soul Shift 4. No, I didn't stutter there. It has Soul Shift 4 twice. Really cool, really nice ability. It gets you back 2 things when it dies. So it makes it very hard to deal with. If you somehow make this creature very scary and a problem that needs to be dealt with, it becomes even more of a problem because it brings more stuff back. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Actually, no, scratch that. 8 out of 10. It's fun. Next, Gnarled Mass, 3 mana, 3/3. This was such a peaceful time in Magic's history when a series of trees and logs with teeth and tongues just spiraling out of a body had no abilities. It was just a 3/3. It was just big and dumb. Love that time. A simpler time. Next, we have Harbinger of Spring, 4 and a green for a 2/1, but it has protection from non-spirit creatures and it's Soul Shift 4. Very cool, unblockable creature, better with Orin Frostfang and effects that let you draw cards whenever you deal damage. Very cool. I love this card. I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna give this a 8 out of 10. It's probably one of the best commons. One of the best common spirits. Really cool. Next, Kodama the Center Tree. Yes, there's a middle point between north and south, and that's the center. It's for 4 and a green, star. Its power and toughness equal number of spirits you control, and has Soul Shift X, where X is the number of spirits you can control. Pretty basic. You want to play your spirits? It has so many spirits, and then when it dies, you get a spirit back. Sadly, it can't target itself, but, you'll get something back, I'm sure. Be a fun commander if you were playing this in more of a beatdown style. But next, we're going to talk about Life Spinner. Life Spinner, 3 and a green for 3/3. Tap, sacrifice 3 spirits, search your library for a legendary spirit card, and put it into play. Amazing card. Truly amazing. It's a tutor that lets you find some big dumb spirit like your Kodama or your Seki. It's an amazing tutor that not a lot of cards have these. Not a lot of cards really let you tutor for other creatures by sacrificing repeatedly. But sacrificing 3 spirits is fun because a lot of spirits get back other spirits, like with Soul Shift. And it's just really sweet and really cool. And I love this card. I'm gonna give Life Spinner a 8 out of 10. Because next we're going to talk about Loam Dweller, 1 and a green 2/2. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may put a land from your hand into play tapped. Very good. Some of the best ramp pieces in mono green spirits because it just rewards you for playing spirits. 10 out of 10. Perfect card. Amazing. Next, Patron of the Orochi. A 6 green for a 7/7 spirit with Snake Offering. So when you play this card, anytime you can play an instant by sacrificing a snake and paying the difference in mana. And it has untap all forests and all green creatures. Play this ability only once each turn. Very powerful effect. Very interesting effect. It's 8 mana. So it's cool ramp. It allows you to do stuff. It's really great if you cheat it out with Life Spinner. But other than that, I don't think I've ever used... I could do the Snake Offering because of Masked Vandal, but we'll get to Masked Vandal in a bit. I'm going to give Patron of the Orochi a 7 out of 10. Next, we have Petalmane Baku. Whenever you play 1 and a green for a 1/2, whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may put a key counter on Petalmane Baku. You pay 1 and remove X key counters for Petalmane Baku. Add X mana of any one color to your mana pool. I love this card, 10 out of 10. It's a rose bush with legs. And nothing else like it. I love it because in my Aname deck, one of the lines involves Food Chain, and Food Chain gives you infinite amount of mana you can spend to cast creature spells. But if you were to make your Eternal Scourge into a spirit with, say, Maskwood Nexus, suddenly your Petalmane Baku triggers and you put key counters on it, and you pay 1 mana and remove as many as you want, and that mana can be spent on anything you want. So that is how you kind of make the transition from Food Chain mana to Finale of Devastation or Altar of Dementia mana. 10 out of 10. Next, Scaled Hulk. 5 and a green for a 4/4. Whenever you play a spirit, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Basic. It's fine. It's big. Doesn't really do a whole lot. 3 out of 10. Next, Traproot Kami. 1 green for a 0-star. Defender. Its toughness is equal to the number of force in play, and it has reach. It's a silly card. It's a 1 mana spirit. It's good to replace itself if you have something that lets you draw cards. What do you have? Your Beast Whisperer or Primal Sage? I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Requires a little bit more work, though. So that's the end of Betrayers of Kamigawa. Now we're going to go to Champions of Kamigawa. Sorry, Saviors of Kamigawa. We're going to talk about Arashi, the Sky Asunder. 3 green for a 5/5. X and green tap. It deals X damage to target creature with flying. Or you can channel it, which means you can pay its cost and discard it from your hand. So you pay X green, and it deals X damage to each creature with flying. Great board wipe for flyers. A lot of spirits don't have flyers, so it really can be one-sided. Amazing card. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next, Ayumi, the Last Visitor. 3 green for 7/3 with Legendary Landwalk. We don't get a lot of legendary lands anymore, so I think this card has gotten a lot worse over time. But in the command zone, this would be a really fun Voltron commander deck. If you could give your lands to your opponents somehow and just reward them for make something legendary, it would be really cool to make this, just because it's a 5 mana 7/3, so it's only 3 kills. It's not going to be blocked if someone has a legendary land. This is really cool. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this card. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think it just requires a lot of build around for my builds of Aname, but I think you can get there with this one. Bounteous Kieran, 5 green for a 4/4 Kieran Spirit. Whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, you gain life equal to that spell's converted mana cost. If you can cast your spells infinitely, you can gain infinite life now. Amazing card, great payoff. 8 out of 10. Briar Knit Kami for 3 green for 3/3. Whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This is also really great because the counters stay around. It's like Jugen, except Jugen doesn't need to die and is cheaper, and rewards you for playing the game of Magic the Gathering. Because you have spirits, you want to cast spirits, and this card says, hey, whenever you cast a spirit, what if something better happened? Really fun card. 7 out of 10. Elder Pine of Jukai. 2 and a green for a 2/1. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And it has Soul Shift too. A very good ramp piece, so make sure you have all your lands so you can get to your big Myosians and legendary spirits that require so much mana to make sure they're good. I love this card. I think it's really neat, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Next, Fiddlehead Kami, 4 green for 3/3. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, regenerate Fiddlehead Kami. It's fine. Cool Rebecca Gay art. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, though. It doesn't really do much. It's a 5 mana 3/3 at the end of the day. It just won't die. Next, we have Ghostlit Nourisher for 2 and a green for a 2/1. And as 2 and a green tap, target creature gets +2/+2. Or you can channel it, pay 4 mana, discard it. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Very cool. Can make something really big. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Next, Haruana, 3 and a green for a 2/1. When it comes to play, draw a card, and whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may return Haruana to its owner's hand. Perfect card, 10 out of 10. It's card draw and spirits. Nothing beats that. Next, we have Kami of the Tended Garden. 3 mana, 3 and a green for a 4/4 spirit. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay a green. And Soul Shift 3. It dies, goes to your graveyard. Very nice. 4 out of 10. It's just a little too much work, I think. Next, Masumaro, First to Live. 3 green for a star. Power and toughness are equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. This is a amazing card. Really cool build around. The Maros are a kind of creature in Magic that just get bigger with the more cards you have in hand. And this one is just the best one. It's so cool. I love it. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Next, Night Soil Kami. 4 green for a 6/4 spirit with Soul Shift 5. That's it. 3 out of 10. Next, Seki Season's Guide. 5 green for a 0/0. When it comes to play with 8 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to it, prevent that damage, remove that many counters from it, and you get that many 1/1 colorless spirits. And you could sacrifice 8 spirits, return Seki from your graveyard to play. This card is insane. It's really cool. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because it combos really well with One with the Kami, which is an enchantment from Kamigawa, the Dynasty Commander. And it also just has, it's a sack outlet in your graveyard, which is not, we don't get a lot of. You need 8 spirits, but you're a spirit deck. Just play 8 spirits. Next, we have Shinnen of Life's Roar. It's a 2 mana, 1/2. All creatures able to block Shinnen of Life's Roar do so. And you can channel for 2 green. Discard it. All creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. I love this card because it combos with Permeating Mass. That is the only reason I love this card. 6 out of 10. We finally made it out of Kamigawa. Now we're on to Ravnica, which has Carven Caryatid, 1 green for a 2/5 with Defender. When it comes into play, draw a card. It replaces itself. Very cool. Very simple. 7 out of 10. Next, Primordial Sage, 4 green for 4/5. When you play a creature spell, you may draw a card. This card makes every spirit deck work. It's so good to just have all your spirits instantly replace itself because they're very replaceable in your graveyard. You get so much value, such an amazing card. 10 out of 10. Next, Starved Rusalka. 1 green mana, 1/1. You can pay 1, sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life. Fun fact, this is the cheapest sack outlet in Spirits. That's why you play it. It's so fun, it's so good. And gets the job done. You can gain infinite life if you're doing stuff infinitely. Next, we're at Verdant Eidolon. 3 and a green for 2/2. Pay 1 green, sacrifice it at 3 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. Whenever you play a multicolored spell, you may return Verdant Eidolon from your graveyard to your hand. I'm giving this card a 0 out of 10 because this is mono green spirits, and you can only play this once. Actually, no, I'm being too harsh. Great card. It's just ramp. It becomes a pseudo Black Lotus if you can discount the cost. If you can play it over and over again. And with the Name, you're just bringing it back over and over. Great card. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. Next, we're going to Time Spiral, and we're going to talk about Phantom Worm. Who up playing with their worm? It's me. I'm playing with my 6 mana 2/0 Worm Spirit. This is the same type of card as Phantom Nantuko, or it's the same type of card as Phantom Nantuko, Phantom Centaur, Phantom Tiger. Instead of taking direct damage, it gets slightly smaller. Next, we have Spectral Force, 3 green for an elemental 8/8 elemental spirit. If it attacks, if defending player controls no black permanent, it doesn't untap during your next untap step. This is the same thing as Spectral Bears, but much bigger, and I love it. 9 out of 10, baby. Next, we're going to Innistrad. We finally made it to the 2011s. We are starting off with a 6 mana 6/6 vanilla spirit. Pretty cool. It's solid. It's fair. 4 out of 10. But now we get to talk about Orchard Spirit. 2 and a green for 2/2. Can't be blocked except by creatures of flying or reach. You're getting in. Really cool little skeleton spirit. I love it. Very fun. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Next, though, is Strangle Rootgeist. For 2 green mana, it's a 2/1 with haste and undying. So when it dies, if it had no counters on it, no +1/+1 counters on it, return to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Amazing card. This sees a lot of play in a lot of different decks, especially if you can remove the +1/+1 counter somehow. So it just goes very fast. It's playable in the Yawgmoth Modern deck because you make using Agatha Soul Cauldron, you turn your Strangle Rootgeist into a walking ballista, and you just remove the counter, sacrifice it, and then it comes back, remove the counter, sacrifice it, remove the counter, sacrifice it. You just kill people that way. 9 out of 10. Next is Howlgeist for 5 and a green for 4/2. Spirit Wolf. Creatures with power less than Howlgeist can't block it, and it is undying. Very good. It's not going to get chump blocked by your little dorky creatures. It's not going to get chump blocked by 2 1/1 tokens. It's going to get through. Great bomb. Next, we have Wildwood Geist. Shout out New Jersey and the Jersey Shore. For 4 and a green for 3/3. It gets +2/+2 as long as your turn. It's a 5/5 on your turns. It's fine. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. That's where I'm going to try and stack all my vanilla creatures now. Next, we have U-Spirit for U-Spirit. For 4 and a green for a 3/3. Spirit Treefolk. 2 green. It gets +X until end of turn where X is its power. This stacks up theoretically infinitely to make it Power so huge. You're doubling it and giving it to the next person. Very fun card. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Next, we have Eidolon of Blossoms for 2 green for 2/2. Whenever Eidolon of Blossoms or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. 10 out of 10. Enchantresses are incredible, and it itself is an enchantment creature. So it's drawing a card off of itself. It's instantly replaceable and rewards you for playing enchantments. Amazing card. If you've not played Enchantress decks, build one right now. They're so fun. Next, we have Scion of Ugin. 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer. Very similar. This is the best flying scimitar that we have. This is the best dancing scimitar that we have. But that's about it. It's the only spirit from Tarkir block, and it's not even green. So I don't really care. But next, we have Pack Guardian. 2 green for a wolf spirit. 4/3 with flash. And when it enters the battlefield, you may discard a land card. If you do, get a 2/2 wolf. That's pretty good. Not bad at all. I'm going to give that one a 5 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about Permeating Mass now. Permeating Mass is, if Aname wasn't my commander, Permeating Mass would be my commander. For 1 green, you get a 1/3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy of Permeating Mass. Amazing card. Play this turn 1. No one's attacking you. You need to swing in and deal damage. No one's blocking it. If you can make it so every creature blocks it, every creature is going to be a Permeating Mass. I have worked to try and make this card work in every format, like Standard. And when Pioneer came out, I was on Bant Permeating Mass for a while. It sucked. I kept dying to Elder Deep Fiend over and over and over and over again, but it was worth it for this guy. 3 billion out of 10. Next, we have Spirit of the Hunt. 1 green for a 3/3 Wolf Spirit with flash. A lot of Wolf Spirits have flash for some reason. I'm just now noticing. When it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +0/+3. Very good surprise blocker. You thought you were going to have a one-sided combat. Now it's going to be one-sided, but the other way. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Yeah, why not? 5 out of 10. It's the holidays. Next, Scala Wolf. 3 green for a 3/3. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a green card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. Very good card. Lets you dig. Really great mono green spirits. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Next, Vivian's Jaguar. 2 and a green for a 3/2 with reach. No flying, but can still block flyers. And you can pay 2 to green, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only if you control a Vivian Planeswalker. And last line's a little bit of a kicker because Vivian Planeswalkers are a bit sketch. But, you know, it's a mono green spirit. Take what you can get. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because it's essentially a French vanilla creature. Next, we have Ugin's Conduit for X mana, 0/0. Enters the battlefield with X counters on it. If damage would be dealt to Ugin's Conduit while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage, remove that many +1/+1 counters from it. It's a spirit. It's colorless, so it gets a little minus points. But it has the Seki text, and I love that. It's good. It's more of a spirit than Dancing Scimitar, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The only reason it's not getting higher, not green. But next we have Vivian's Grizzly. She has a Jaguar and a Grizzly for 2 and a green for a 2/3 Bear Spirit. 3, and you can also pay 3 green, 3 and a green. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature Planeswalker, you may put it into your hand. If you don't, put that card on the bottom. It's good. Lets you dig if you have a lot of mana and you're just looking for more creatures. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Next, we have Ethereal Elk. When Ethereal Elk enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card called Vivian, Nature's Avenger, reveal it and put it to your hand. Vivian also has an elk. It's fine if you're playing that Planeswalker. I'm not. Everything else about it is kind of bad. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Next, we have Vivian's Crocodile. Vivian gets so many goddamn animals. She has a Crocodile Spirit. Gets 3. It's a 2 and a green for a Crocodile Spirit, 3/3. It gets +1/+1 as long as you control a Vivian Planeswalker. Again, with these Vivian Planeswalkers, it's kind of a French vanilla, but this one is basically just vanilla. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 for just, why does Vivian get so many animals? Next, we have Sorcerer's Broom. It's literally a broom. You can pay 2 for 2 generic, 2/1. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you may pay 3. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Sorcerer's Broom. It's a broom that makes other brooms. It's fine. You got to build around it. 3's a lot. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, actually, because of that. Next, Kodama the East Tree. We're back to Kamigawa for, well, technically we're back to Commander Legends, but for 4 green, 6/6 Spirit with Reach. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. Amazing card. Why is it equal? It doesn't need to be. It could be lesser and it'd still be really good. You can put a land and that lets you put another land into play. That's just amazing. Great value. Amazing card. 10 out of 10. Next, we have Spirit of the Aldegard. It's a 4 mana, 0/4 snow creature bear spirit. When it enters, search your library for a snowland, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And Spirit of the Aldegard gets +1/+0 for each other snow permanent you control. It gets big, but it also starts off very small. It's the only snow spirit, so the only way you're getting is based on snowlands. So it's going to be pretty big in scale with the game, but I think you can do better things. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Next, Willowgeist. A 1 mana 1/1 with trample. It has my attention. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willowgeist. Now it has my love. And when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. Now it has my child. I have impregnated Willowgeist. This card's amazing. Gets bigger the longer the game plays. With a Name, it gets so big and gains so much life. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next, Thundering Nightmare. 3/3 for 5 mana with Soul Bond. And as long as Thundering Nightmare is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It turns other creatures into Torian Mauler. Amazing. That's great. Great in Commander, where everyone's casting so many spells. 9 out of 10. Next, we have Flourishing Hunter. 4 green for a 6/6. When it enters, you gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Ooh, other. Usually this is going to be the biggest toughness, so you're not going to be gaining 6 life. Spirits, though, have a lot of lower toughness. We were talking about that little Spirit of the Aldegard, which is a 0/4, so you can gain 4 life for 6 mana, but that's still not a lot really good. Gaining life isn't really something you need to do in Commander a lot of the time. It usually is kind of a red herring almost. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Next, Myosian of Towering Might for 5 green for an 8/8 Spirit, and enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it if you cast it from your hand, and you can remove an indestructible counter from it and distribute 8 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. They gain trample. Amazing card. I'm not as hyped about it as the other Myosian. Still very cool. Makes your team significantly bigger. You can make your commander so much bigger. It's fine. 7 out of 10. Next, we have Blossom Prancer. For 5 mana, 4/4 with Reach. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or enchantment from among them. Put into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. If you didn't put a card into your hand this way, you gain 4 life. Really good if you're playing an Enchantress build of spirits, especially focused on Eidolon of Blossoms, but really good at refilling your hand, gains some life, replaces itself. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Next, Generous Visitor. 1 green for a 1/1. Whenever you cast enchantment, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Amazing card in enchantment builds of this deck. It's 1 mana, 1/1 spirit at the very least. 6 out of 10. Next, Geothermal Kami. When Geothermal Kami enters the battlefield, you may return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain 3 life. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 because it's great when enchantments enchantresses, they just want you to play enchantments. And this is an enchantment. This is a creature that lets you bring back an enchantment, so you get to play more enchantments. Amazing. I like targeting Wild Growth with this. You tap your Wild Growth to cast this, target your Wild Growth, comes back, you cast your Wild Growth on another land, and suddenly you're up more mana. Next, we have Jugen Defends the Temple, which is a saga which has Chapter 1, create a 1/1 green monk. That taps to add a green. Chapter 2, put a +1/+1 counter on 2 creatures. Chapter 3, exile the saga and return it. And the other side is Remnant of the Rising Star. So Jugen is no longer with us. He died and put 5 counters on something. But it's a 2/2 dragon spirit with flying. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may pay X. If you do, put X counters on that creature. As long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, Remnant of the Rising Star gets +5/+5 and trample. Really great in +1/+1 counter decks. Really great with just making your board even bigger. It's a very fun card. Takes a little bit of work. It takes 3 turns before you actually get the spirit. But if you're not a fan of instant gratification, you'll be fine with this. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Next, Kami of Transience. 1 and green for a 2/2 with trample. Whenever you cast enchantment spell, put a +1 counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, if an enchantment is put into your graveyard from your turn, you may return Kami of Transience from your graveyard to your hand. Very good card. It's a recurable spirit. Once again, a lot of these new Kamigawa spirits require a lot of play with enchantment, but you get to play with enchantments. Playing with enchantments is great. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, though. But now we're going to talk about Kodama of the West Tree. 2 and a green for a 3/3 with reach. Modified creatures you control have trample. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This card is great with a card called Bristly Billiam. You're just going to get every land out of your deck so fast, and your board's going to get so big. It's going to make everything even bigger. Amazing card. 10 out of 10. Next, we have Kura the Boundless Sky. 3 green for a 4/4 flying Death Touch Dragon Spirit. When it dies, choose one. Search your library for up to 3 land cards, reveal them, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Or you can create an XX green spirit creature token where X is the number of lands you control. You can get 3 lands with any 3 lands, not basic, any 3. You can get Gaia's Cradle, you can get Nixos, you can get 3 Tree City. And it has Death Touch. It's a great blocker. It just does it all. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 as well. Next, we have Spectral Hunt Caller. 4 and a green for a 4/4. Pay 6 mana. Creatures control get +1/+1 and gain trample. If you have a lot of mana, it's a good dump. Everything gets bigger. Very cool. Love this card. 6 out of 10. Next, Kami of Whispered Hopes. 2 and a green for a 1/1 spirit. If one or more counters to be put on a permanent you control, that many +1 counters are put on it instead. And you can tap X mana of any one color where X is Kami of Whispered Hope's power. Great with +1/+1 counters. This goes infinite with Umbral Mantle, amongst other ways. It's a very cool mana dork in spirits. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next is Omarthus Ghostfire Initiate. When it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, it is an XX. So it enters the battlefield with half of what you paid for it. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters put on another colorless creature you control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Omarthus. And when it dies, manifest a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of counters on it. Has a lot of words on it, but it's a 0 out of 10. It's not mono green, and it cares about you playing things that aren't mono green. That's stupid. Why would you do that? That's not worth it. But we reach the end. We have one last mono green spirit. We have Spinner of Souls. 2 and a green for a 4/3 with a reach. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. When you're sacrificing creatures, you replace the creature immediately now. That's beautiful. That's sweet. That's very Punky Brewster. That is very Sunglasses and Bags of Chip. 10 out of 10. I love sacrificing creatures, and more importantly, I like getting more creatures to sacrifice. But, listeners, we have reached the end of this discussion on mono green spirits. I thought I was going to do this pretty fast, but now I'm at the hour mark, and I'm like, holy shit. What the hell? What the helly? What the hunk? What hell? I don't know what's going on anymore, but all I think about nowadays is mono green spirits. So thank you. I love it so much. It is so silly, but it kills so fast and so fun. Well, thank you for listening. Remember to please like, comment, subscribe, share this with anyone within arm's reach of you, and post arm's reach. Share this with everyone. Go out into the middle of the street and shout praise about the ScrubPod Podcast and how much you love it. Once again, I have been Andy, providing high-quality entertainment, and I'm here to just say, I love you. You're doing a wonderful job today. Take care.